August 13th, 2021, 8:59 a.m. I got to the screen pretty late today, around 7:30. I didn't sleep very well last night, so definitely a late start, but didn't really miss too much. Very tight range today, opening imbalance in range from yesterday. You can see this is just the crazy tight trade here. So gonna really just try to stay out of trouble. I've already taken one loss trading up into the top edge of this value imbalance. So when we're in balance like this, it's hard to play for the breaks at the top side, especially when what ends up happening is we fill orders here and we just fall back into value and into range, and now we're pushing back down into the low side of this. I definitely was more bullish, obviously, because I took the trade, but we had this demand here. It seems every time we came down, we were pushing up higher. So I was definitely more bullish. This here was a small failure of this range, and we came up, and after we took out this supply here at 832, that's when on the pullback at 11, I took the long here with my stop down right around the round number, and didn't stay in that very long, and took almost a full loss, and -9. So I'm just trying to be patient, not get chopped up like I did yesterday. Very similar day to yesterday. We'll see what happens when we trade down the lower side of this balance. Looks like we're holding, and some buyers have come in here. So, but now we have trouble above here with this supply, untested supply here. So we'll see what happens. I like this. This is setting up for a decent try, but I'm gonna try to just be patient here. I'm long here, and I didn't wait for any kind of a pullback here. Normally I would probably have put my order in about 88, so I don't have the best price here, don't have the best position. Stop would have to be below, where am I wrong on this, way down 76, so that's a pretty wide stop. But yes, we are in a balance day, but the way that this pushed out of here, and the compression and large volume that was put in at these lows, I like the try. The issue with this is that, yeah, we are right around the point of control. And are we going to go back and hit the top side of range? We have a little bit of trouble above here, but we also have these highs, and so there will be resting orders here for all the shorts that are wrong and stuck in this trade. So I see a lot of potential for stuck shorts here at the bottom of the range. The safe conservative trade would be to take this off into the 11, but at some point this is going to break. We have 40 tick IB range. The initial balance from the first hour of trade is basically 40 ticks. So that's very tight, and trade is not going to stay in there. So I think a break to the overnight high, the 69.45, would make sense. And in front of possibly in front of the round number at 69.50. Took a short trade that I was talking about in here, and I got ripped out for a big loss, and this really sucks to talk about it. Just that it was outside of risk parameters that were reasonable to take such a big stop, so not real happy with how I mentioned that. Also, here's the issue, that when we came down below and took out these lows, we still had these lows as well. So for any large liquidity and flush of these areas is very likely for any large institutional buyers that are looking to buy. So that's exactly what happened. We had massive volume come in and large compression here. So wasn't going to buy the lows here, but then we pushed up, formed this demand, and we were either going to fail this value here and hold the underside of this, or fail back up into this value and range and look to move higher. All of this seems very weak to me to have a test up, but we'll see what's going to happen here. This, as I see it, really is the last chance for the bulls. If we push down below this area and we don't reverse this area, they're definitely in big trouble, and I would expect to see lower prices. So I'm really at the mercy of the bears here, and possibly stuck on the wrong side of this trade. This will be my last trade for the day, because this will put me over loss limit if I lose on this one. So this is the kind of move that we like to see, kind of a spike down before a move up, kind of that fake out, breakout type style. And being that we're at the low side of this area, I like it. This is definitely going to be where my stop is going to, am I going to put my stop under here? Because if we get down below this structure again, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. So that's what I see so far. So this is now we're pushing up and putting in a little bit of a structure. So if we can flush higher here, this makes me think that all of these shorts, these potential shorts, are trapped in this area. So when we have like I talked about earlier, we have a tremendous amount of weakness to the left and potential to take all this out. We'll see what happens when we get back up into that 69 round number. But once we flush this area, my risk will be taken off. These bar highs probably at the 68.98. I don't want to take it off here, as that's a little premature, I think. I also feel it's a little bit of a mistake to take my risk off here, because if I'm correct on the context, a return to this area is very likely. So on this little push up, I could have definitely went to break even, but then I'd be out on this return. We had some pretty large volume coming in here, so there's definitely some sellers in this area. So just going to see who wins out. Probably a push above the 93 here. I will get my risk off since my entry is at 84. So this is kind of make or break area here. We'll see pretty soon here who's in control. That's it. That took me out again, so that's going to kill it for me for the day. That's a 41 tick loss on the day. So big stops here. 18, minus 18, minus 14, so just terrible. So that's how it goes. This should have definitely been a sign and a signal that we had sellers coming in here and this large compression for a move lower, but just couldn't find my way. So that's going to do it for me for the day. Talk real quick about why this trade probably wasn't meant or a good one to take out, even though this was a intermediate high tick area. Once this high here was taken out, this trade should have been a no-go for me. I still chose, even after this high tick, to enter this trade. So if this high hadn't been broken, the issue with that is that this high tick is what took out this supply here. So I chose to overlook that, but just was a better pass than a trade, especially with the size of the stop. There was really no reasonable area to put a stop. 73, be 72 here, and I was in at, I think, 90, or maybe it was 84 or 84. So that's not terrible, but being that, not surprising to see that we would come back and revisit this demand area anywhere in here. So I'm really not wrong on that trade way until down here below 59. So that's it, and that's a big one. That's a big stop, 25 ticks or so. So here we are just chopping around at the lower edge of this value here. So just wanted to mention that as far as reflection on why I should have probably passed on this trade anyway. And then once this large volume came in here and this failure, I should have killed this trade immediately, being below this volume here at the 930 and that's this compression here that eventually ended up taking me out on this push down. So I had one more trade here off of these lows here when we came down and put in this low, and I was watching this as we came back up into this zone here. Came down, failed this supply, came in, created this demand, and I entered here at 36 on this pullback right here, and I took it off into the trouble at 52 for a 16 tick win there. So takes a little bit of the sting out of the nearly loss limit day, but that's going to be it. It's getting super quiet and slow now, so I'm going to call it a day, and happy Friday and enjoy the weekend.